What's going down? It's Colby here, back with another video. Just here to update you a little bit. A lot has changed since my last video. I have moved again and actually opened up and started my own business. So now I'm at my new house running my business, and I have some vehicles here that I'm working on, and I figured I'd start filming what I'm doing around the house. So let me show you what I got going on. What I'm currently working on right now though is this truck. It came in for an oil change and it ended up having quite a long list of stuff that needed to get done to it. Currently we are doing the oil pressure sensor back there. I got it cracked loose, not quite all the way out. We're doing front brakes to it. I ended up getting the correct rotors and pads, but I had the wrong calipers, so I just got back from the store to swap out for the correct ones. Both of these window seals over here are leaking, so we got to find those. I'm still searching for them online, and those need to be replaced. It also had some rats up into the fuse box, so we got that out, cleaned that out, found a couple fuses that were bad and replaced those. But anyway, so I'm gonna get back to work on what I'm doing, and we'll get the oil pressure switched out, and then see if that fixes the gauge, because the gauge was just pegged at 80 with it plugged in, and with it unplugged it read nothing. So that we're hoping this is going to fix that. Alrighty, and we got the oil pressure sensor fixed. That fixed the gauge. I'll show you that in a minute. It's way back there if you're ever looking for it. It's hard to get to. There's some good videos out there. Okay, so key's out of the ignition right now. What used to happen is when you keyed the ignition on, the gauge would peg at 80. When you started it, it'd just stay pegged at 80. So let's see, we go key on, and the gauge doesn't move. That's correct. Then we go ahead and start it, and it goes up to 40, 45, and right where it should be, not pegged at 80. So we got that solved. And then as far as the window seals go, I believe I found the front seal for around the window. However, I have not been able to find the rear, so I believe I'm gonna have to call the dealership tomorrow and see if maybe I can source it through them. Other than that, we have the brakes that I started. We have everything new on this side so far. All that I have left is just to swap the line over, but I'm about to go eat some dinner, so I haven't cracked that one off yet. But just gotta swap the line over to the new caliper and bleed this side. And then I'm also out of brake disc quiet goop, so I have to go get some of that. I will either do that after dinner or maybe tomorrow. So there may be some more video tonight. You might catch me in the morning. And just like that, it's the next day and it's already dark out. The days just go by so quick. Let me grab my flashlight. So we're back on the truck. Oil pressure sensor's done. We have brakes done on this side. Just have to finish bleeding. We have brakes to do the other side. And then we are finished for tonight. And then in the morning we got to add some additive, top end cleaner and transmission fluid to the engine oil for some lifter ticking noise we're trying to get rid of. Hopefully it works. And then take it on a test drive, and then this bad boy will be done minus the window seals, which we're still waiting on. I'm gonna get this thing bled here in a minute, and then we'll move on to the other side. And it's the next day again. Sorry, I've been really bad about this. I've been so busy the past few days. So where we're at on the truck is the brakes are all good, noises are all gone, other than the squeaking cam. So the customer and I have come to the conclusion to just go ahead and put a crate motor in it. So we have one coming here in a few days. So I'm gonna get started on pulling that here tomorrow, maybe Tuesday. That's when the motor comes, so I'll probably be doing it on Tuesday. It's Sunday now. So that's just on hold for the moment. The brakes are done. Inside the canopy, we have the Cadillac, the Escalade 2002. We are doing the oil pan gasket. Have the oil pan out right here. And the oil cooler lines. That's the new gasket and the new oil cooler lines. Pull the dipstick up a little bit just so it doesn't get smushed when you put the new oil pan or the new gasket and pan back up in there. What we got going on under here is it looks pretty clean for 230,000 miles, minus all the oil everywhere from everything leaking, of course. But we have the diff drop down. You have 2 bolts right here, a bolt on the back side, right up in there, and then a bolt up top, right there. For the oil cooler lines, this right here, there's a bolt coming in from the outside that you have to remove. Once you get the differential drop down, and then there's a skid plate that goes right here. Once you have all that drop down, then you can work on the pan. There's quite a few bolts to go all the way around the outside, and then 2 bell housing bolts that go through the pan that also have to come out. There's a level sensor that goes in there. I unplugged it and I took the level sensor all the way out just for safety because I didn't want to break it when I pulled the pan down. Currently I'm in the process of cleaning the pan and the engine, and then we'll be putting it all back up in there. Okay, after you have your mating surfaces of the engine and the oil pan cleaned up, there's a couple spots that you need to add RTV, 4 to be exact, right there on that gap. Same thing on the other side, that gap. And then 2 up front for the timing cover right there and right there. We just have to add touch RTV, and then we can put the pan back up in here. Okay, now once you have your RTV spots on your 4 corners, and you can go ahead and put your pan back up in here. Alrighty, so we got the Cadillac finished. Oil pan's done, it's out in the street. Gave me a nice little mark on my forehead. And now we've moved on to the engine in the Sierra. Let me show you what's going on. I currently brought it in the carport. We've taken just a few of the plastics off. Little plastic here, the engine cover. We've taken the air box and the intake out. And then I just ended up pulling the radiator and letting everything drip. I wanted to try and get most of the coolant out of it tonight so I can spray off any mess I make underneath and let it dry for the night. Because after I'm done up top, I have to go underneath to get some stuff, bell housing bolts, exhaust, whatnot. So I'm trying to play it strategically. I believe next we're probably gonna go take the serpentine belt off, apply some accessories, the alternator, an intake manifold, and we got some coolant hoses, a lot of electrical wires. What else do we got? Oh yes, the ignition coils. I would probably leave the valve cover gaskets on, or the valve covers on. We're gonna try and do the exhaust manifolds over here, but I'm probably gonna have to take off down below to gain access to all the bell housing bolts. But we'll have to see when we get down there. So I'm gonna keep chucking away and I'll update you as we get stuff removed.